Hey everyone, welcome back to Nonprofit Enthusiast Live. I'm your host, Lasheena Williams, and I am so excited to be back with you all. I hope you had a wonderful Valentine's Day yesterday, and I just wanted to take a moment. So, if you did not catch last week's Nonprofit Enthusiast Live, I highly encourage you to go back to our guides and check it out with Dr. Bev. It was just such an inspirational conversation, and we need that in the nonprofit field. One, to know that we're not alone, and then two, just to see others journey is just so inspiring. I just think back, one of the things that she talked about that really stood out for me, and I watched it like several times, just so y'all know. After it aired, I went back a couple times and I've watched it, and I was like, man, this is just so inspiring, especially as we continue to navigate the nonprofit field and just hear her talk about some of the things she had to go through. One, she talked about going to the library and there not being nothing but a three-ring binder with 3 pages in it on grant writing. And then today, how many books are there out with, that talks about grant writing? Quite a few that she publishes as well, which is really cool. But how many nonprofit support groups are there? How many consultants, coaches, and just people to support you on your nonprofit journey that there are now? And then even when I was starting our organization back in 2012, there wasn't as much support as there is today. So I'm so excited just to see the journey and just talking with her and hearing how she kind of trailblazed for us who as we continue to go through the nonprofit journey. So that was just such an inspirational conversation. And one of the things that she talked about that I was like, oh my gosh, was and if you all tuned in last week, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're not, this is a spoiler alert, but I definitely encourage you to go back and check that out. She talked about not staying where you're not appreciated. Let that sit for a second. Like, think about how often we're like in situations and people or organizations might not necessarily see our value, and we just sit there, right? And she talks about how she went and met the organization needs, right? She went and raised the funds, came back, handed over, and resigned that very moment. Don't stay where you're not appreciated. That really sat with me. And I was just thinking about that, especially as you go through your journey, and or just not even just your nonprofit journey, just different things in life where you may not feel as valued being there. Why are you still there, right? So yeah, that was just a wonderful interview, very inspirational. It definitely motivated me, and I hope it motivated you all. And if you missed it again, please go back and check that out in the guides and also in the video section of the group. You can find it there as well. Um, so this month we're talking about program development. So being able to craft effective nonprofit programs. Earlier in the month, I kind of talked about some tips around that. And with yesterday being Valentine's Day, I was like, what better conversation than to talk a little bit about when it comes to programs, remembering your why. And so often we're just kind of going through the motion, doing, trying to get these impact results in and doing these different things that we forget to sit back and remember our why. And when I say why, I'm talking about your personal why. Why are you in the nonprofit arena? Why are you serving others? Or why are you doing this? A lot of times we can easily forget that. For me, a lot of my why, I like to say, I like to help people help people. That's one of my whys. And the other why is I've just always had a desire to be a voice for youth. So that's another passion that I have. And I kind of had that outlet through the nonprofit I founded back in 2012, Love Our Youth. I get to kind of be that voice. bring in resources to support youth in our community. And on nonprofit enthusiast side, I get to help you all extend your mission. So I feel like check and check. So that's my why. And I'm just so excited and just I'm so blessed to be able to live out my why and just be a part of these different um, causes. So take a moment and think about why. What's your why? Go ahead and drop that in the chat box. What inspires you? When you, let's say, when you hit a wall, which that happens. I don't know about you all, but I said this on an interview with Dr. Bev last week. It's almost like the more you ask, the more no's you get, right? So what is it that keeps you going beyond that no? What's that why for you? When you hear no, we can't help you with this. What is it that keeps you pushing, keep you trying, and not accepting no? And finding a different alternative, which I'm probably going to reference Dr. Bev a lot because that was last week, and I'm still kind of processing everything. And I was like, oh my gosh, it was amazing. Because she talked about all the no's that she heard in her journey, right? She heard well, one, she heard that she needs to go out and learn how to fundraise and bring money into an organization. When she wanted to become the author, which she is today, it was either she was going to go self-publish or part of a big company, and she didn't. And when she heard the no, working part of the large company isn't it, she's like, all right, I'll just go ahead and do it my way, I'm going to go ahead, and that's fine, I'll go ahead and self-publish, we're not going to stop here. So how often does that happen to us? We hear a no, either you can just take that time and just be like, nah, I'm gonna stop right here, or kind of work around, well, okay, that's okay. And I've been hearing a lot of no's, so this really hits home for me. But the yeses are amazing, I must say. Okay, so all right, no, okay, I understand this does not align with your goals right now. Okay, I'm gonna go XYZ way. And in order to kind of keep the mission going, and keep working towards my why of helping people help people, and being able to serve our youth on a larger scale. Because I will say one thing is it's the whys that keep me motivated, because sometimes you'll get caught into situations where you feel like you're getting tangled into other areas where it's like, I just want to help. That's it. I just want to be able to serve our youth. I just want to be able to help nonprofits extend their mission. But guess what? It's my why that motivates me to continue to um, be an advocate in both arenas, and I absolutely enjoy it. So, what is your why today? Go ahead and drop that in the chat box, and remember that why as you go about and continue to. I know this is probably gonna be a hard word to fight through your mission to continue to accomplish your why and what you're doing. Um, and then, so not only knowing your why, but what organization, like, does your the nonprofit, how does that align with your why, which we know is like the mission within your organization? How does that align? And oftentimes, the cool thing about a mission of an organization, you would have other people that also have similar whys. It may not be the exact same personal why as you, but they have similar reasons as to why they believe in the mission of the organization. That's what unites you all to come together and continue to do the work that you do within your programs. Something else that I was want to share is when you're building your programs, because and the thing about programs, a lot of time programs and events and your why for founders and organizations starting, that's what bring you into the nonprofit arena. You may say, hey, this XYZ happened to me. I'm just gonna share some, like, I don't know, I'll just come up with them. Let's say homelessness. You might say, I have a really I believe in supporting those in the community that's experiencing homelessness. It might be connected to your own personal why as to why you believe in doing that. And I want to have a program to help build sustainability, or I want to do a different feeding program. A lot of programs are birthed out of people's whys, right? Um, so with that, as you're going through all the formalities, which check out the first video I did this month. You can find that in the guides or the video section as well of the group, where I kind of talked about, as you build your program, some of those formal pieces to make sure that you consider when doing so. Remember, there's value in consistency. So one thing that happened within my organization, I shared with you all that when I started a nonprofit back in 2012, someone said to me, hey, just get started, because I was so trapped in. I spent 2 years trying to get the perfect business plan. She's like, just go, and let those that you serve help develop what that looks like. And that was one of the best advice that I received. So with that, I went, started the organization. We started out as a mentorship organization. And then what ended up happening, those students started to get older. They're graduating from high school. And then we wanted to find a way to re-engage them. And they wanted to, those that stayed locally wanted to continue to be involved. And even if they weren't local, they wanted to somehow do something remote and be involved. So that's how we ended up growing one of our other programs, which we call Love Our Community. And then as those college students, or and not all of them ended up going to college. They may have went technical route, went straight into career, but pretty much as those students started to graduate high school, they came back, and it encouraged others to be a part of what we were doing. So hold on, sorry y'all, I'm gonna have to take a little water break real quick. Okay, I'm back. All right, so yeah, so encourage others to be a part of the Love Our Community program, which is pretty much them coming together and volunteering for different youth organizations within the community. Because a huge part of our mission is tied to the collective impact model, where we help serve other youth organizations. So then with that, we had another program called Love Others. And then that program was designed to support youth initiatives in the community. So, for instance, a nonprofit organization may have funding to run a college and career program. So, what they would do is they would give us a call, and they may need, but they may not have the full capacity to do so. So they'll reach out to us, and we will help serve as project managers to see the success of that program, and we will pull in different people from different sectors to come in and make sure that that program is a success. And the reason why we wanted that is because we believed in bringing in the specialist to do the specialist job. We are not everything. So we are really good and strong in project managing, um, uh, being the glue, and being the or backbone. If you've looked up the collective impact model, it's called the backbone organization. That's our strength. It's pulling people together, and the right people together. So we rely on others, that specialists, to come in and deliver the program. So, for instance, if we had a gardening program that a nonprofit wanted to see happen, they had the support to do so funding wise, but didn't necessarily have the people power and so forth. So we'll find the gardeners, we'll do all of that, and we'll manage and make sure that it's successful. And on the flip side, corporations also had their corporate social responsibility programs that's happening, and then they would reach out to us. So I will say, in the earlier years, a lot of the projects we worked on was nonprofit, youth-driven nonprofits giving us a call, reaching out to us. So a few years ago, what happened was, and the reason why I'm telling you all this story, it's just to kind of tell you about the value of consistency, continuing to go, even when it's like, oh, keep going, especially when you're seeing results in certain areas. But sometimes it can become a little unclear along the way, right? So, anyways, we had this program, and then opportunity came to be able to expand it to do more work with corporations. And if we didn't kind of remain consistent with that program, we wouldn't have been equipped to be able to take on the volume of corporate social responsibility program uh, organizations and helping to support these companies as we do now today. But that all goes back to consistency. So with that, I just want to kind of show you that timeline. We continue to grow. As we're growing, we continue to grow our programs. As we grew our programs, our program didn't change. Our mission, our mission actually did change in the last few years, and that was because of that transition from just our main focus was providing direct service to growing out to those other programs I told you that happened once the students started to graduate. So yeah, but other than that, it all always boiled back down to the youth and providing a brighter future and bringing different strengths of different people from different sectors together using a collective impact model in order to be able to support youth in our community, and not even just in our community, throughout the U.S. more, because we've been doing a lot more projects throughout the U.S. as well. But the same thing, the core of our programs, the heart of our programs are still there. So if we weren't consistent throughout the years, when the opportunities came, and there's a couple things that happened in the community where different organizations that did similar work no longer doing that work, so forth and da da da, that led to some of these opportunities coming up. We wouldn't have been in the position to be able to do what we do best. So um, consistency. So if there's anything that you take away from today's conversation, remember your why. What is it that got you into this field? Because we have to have those checkpoints as to why, because it's not always easy. um, what and how does your personal why connect to the organization, whether it's one that you founded or one that you're a part of that you're working with? And then the importance of remaining consistent. I can talk about consistency a lot. I was sharing with some of our members, because we're starting the youth advisory board. They held a meeting, and not as many students came as they wanted to. And I reminded them, I was like, that's okay. You just keep showing up. Because there was days I remember when I started the organization where I will be the only one, or it will be me and one mentee, we'll be there and but guess what? They knew I wasn't going to cancel. And at the end of the day, we going to keep on going. And through that, we were able to grow. When people know you're consistent, you're not going up and down, you're not changing up things, it makes a big difference. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. I'll dive a little bit more into the technicalities of programs throughout the month, but I was just so inspired from last week's conversation that I just kind of wanted to touch on some points from there that was made. And then also kind of with Valentine's happening, I'm like, it's a good time to kind of remember our love for our missions, remember why we got involved with it, remembering to be consistent and not be discouraged along the way, because it's going to happen. But, it's remembering your why that keeps you motivated. So I hope you all have a wonderful week. I like to end with homework. So I would say, if you didn't take a moment to pause and think about your why during this live, to do that. Take that time. And when I say your why, I'm truly talking about your why, not your organization's why, but what's your personal why? Why do you do what you do on a daily basis? So that's what homework would be. Take a moment, think about your personal why. So we'll be back next week. I'll be continuing the conversation on talking about nonprofit programming. Of course, if you have questions throughout, go ahead and drop them in the chat box. So we are continuing to grow, and I'm so grateful for you all. And as we continue to grow, that means that's more knowledge to share with each other. We can continue to learn from each other. So please take a moment go up to the top, click the invite button, invite a few friends. Can we invite like 5 friends to the conversation? And then also, if there's anyone that you feel like, hey, we need to have them on the live, dropping those gems, sharing that information, go ahead and tag them in to this chat as well, and just put join live. So then that way we know. I'll reach out to them to see if they would be interested in joining us on future live. So thank you all so much for tuning in, and I will see you next week. Bye, everyone.